of a light I need it. Lord God have mercy. Good God, good God. The great decision now is near. The sympathize with Jesus.
Sister. Sister. Jesus Christ is near. The mighty man I I hear the mighty man. I hear the mighty man. I hear the mighty man. See the mighty man. See the mighty man. Yeah, the mighty man. The mighty man.
Good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. A special good night to you. And yes, of course, it's Talking Tuesdays. We do have the phone lines operating tonight. Yes, you still have a little issue hearing us, but you can go right ahead when you call in when we open the phone lines. Of course, my name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be taking you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It is Talking Points. We say a special good night to all the listeners listening via the various mediums. Those of you who are listening via 91.9, 91.5 Real FM, we say a special good night to you. Our folks out there in St. Patrick, yeah. Chantiwell, Mount Rich, Mount Rose, Hermitage, River Sally, Iva Sally. Yeah, they have Soraka coming up, I believe, on Friday, yeah. But St. Patrick on a whole lot, because when I start to call name, you know I'm going up in trouble, right?
I hear the mighty man. I hear the mighty man. I hear the mighty man. I'm giving you a warning.
Yes, Norma, it is revival time.
Let me hear a new day. New day. New anointing. New message. New healing. New salvation. New day is coming.
Yeah, we're going to revival up inside here, yeah.
Christian, you got to be Jesus Christ is here.
Let me say a special good night to all of the international listeners who are listening locally. Yeah. Ralph, Jenny, Denise. Watch the whole squad. When I start to call again, when I start to call name, if I don't call someone, I call it, I will get in trouble. So watch. I stop. I ain't calling no more names. New National Party New York Support Group. Kathy Albert, I must call her name. Kathy Albert. Good night to you. Nurse Wendy McGuire. We're going to revival up inside here. Mr. Andre Donald, good night to you, sir. We Noise Radio, good night to you, Wade, and the listeners via 94.9 as well as the We Noise Radio app.
New day, new anointing.
Those of you listening via 92.9 of their Sister Isle Radio over there in Carriacou, we say a special good night to you.
New day is coming.
And let me take the time, let me say a special good night to the Canada listeners. I'm being specific to the listeners in Canada tonight. I give all of the United States the big up last night. Let me give Canada the big up tonight. All right, so good night to the listeners out there in Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal. All of the listeners, no matter which part, those of you that in Quebec, you're speaking a little French and thing. You're down in the French section in Quebec and so on. Wherever you are in Canada, we say a special good night to you. Patricia and Matthew, my good friend Ian, who is out there. Also, my good friend Lyndon George. I know that you're locked on and listening. And there are quite a few others. I must write the names down and make sure I keep it closer. But especially those of you in Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal. All of you out there in Canada. Special big up for you all tonight. Nice? Yes, folks, remember to like and share. I'm waiting for you all to do that before we get into the various matters tonight. Yeah, remember to like and share. And you know, anytime I tell you all that, I do it one time too. Right, so like and share. It's time for you to like and share the live for tonight. Yeah, like and share the live. Nice. As I said, we're going revival up in here. And I say a special good night to all the visitors to the Spice Isle. No matter which one of our sister Caribbean territories you are from, whether it's the French speaking, the English speaking, we don't care. We just say a special good night. Or the Dutch speaking, sorry. Yeah, we say a special good night to all of you.
Under your blood, Lord, hide me under your blood. Hide me under your blood, Lord, hide me.
I've been to the Dutch speaking. I've been to Suriname a couple times. Yeah, beautiful place. Yeah, wonderful people. Chief Camahon, good night to you, bro. Jocelyn Matheson, Shane Ross, Hermione Calise, Dominic Antoine, Jerome Lois, Mervyn Narain, Miriam Boyne, Harrow, Ogilvy, Teresa Joseph, Oswald Belfon, Miriam Samuel, good night to you. Beavis John, Maud Martin, Jenny Samuel, Anastasia Peterson, Marilyn Ferguson, I call you out already, I think, but you're getting it again, right? Christine Otley, Jacinta Alves, Antonito, good night to you, bro. Shirma Alexander, Maria Marcel, Hermina Baptiste, Deborah Laborde, Rosalind Robinson, Denot Amada, Rick English, good night. Vanessa Lalji, Faithlin Hallie Douglas, Alcy Peters, Jacinta Livingston, Clive Raymond, Francis George, good night to you. Adrian Watts, good night to you and your lovely wife. Trajan John, Veronica Lewis, Agnes Henry, Stephanie John, Cindy Thomas, Mavis Mitchell, Deborah Laborde, Kathleen Knights, Anna Lewis, Red Girl Pascal, good night to you. Kathleen Ledlow, how are you doing? Velma Pascal, Gemma Warwood, Jacket Man, good night to you. Lona Lolo Williams, Gloria Francois, Dennis Sandy, Island Musk, Arlene Fletcher, Dolores Redhead, good life, good night to you. Rodney Barry, Yolan Pariag, Matthew Boyne, Claude Abraham, Shirley Ann James, Carib Spice, Cynthia Bartholomew, Maria Noel, yes, I think I gave you already, but Phyllis Mitchell, Alban Harris, good night to Alban, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant, Jackie Raymond, Miriam James, Listra Abraham, good night to you, Carl Jones, Debbie Seals, Janice Mitchell, and Ashma Charles. Good night to each of you on the YouTube. Remember to like and share up the thing. Sherma, good night to you. Good night to you, Miss Sherma Wells. Dr. Julie Dubois, good night to you. The Honorable Dr. Clarice Modest, good night to you.
Come on, say, I am born again.
My Happy Hill Posse, good night.
Watch it now. The demons can't test me. You can't do me
Folks, and again, the activity Sunday was a very nice activity. I know folks enjoyed themselves.
no harm. Witchcraft can't do
Last night's activity was a wonderful activity as well.
me. No harm, no harm.
Tonight, there is the meeting taking place at the SAS, the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School. That is the Honorable Emlyn Pear, together with Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters. Due to that, though, we were supposed initially to have the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters on with us tonight. That was the original plan. Remember when we spoke to Brother Oliver Joseph last week? We had spoken to her at the same time, and it was agreed she would be here this week. But because of the meeting that's taking place in St. Andrew tonight, and her being one of the feature speakers, she's unable to make it tonight. So we'll reschedule her to a later date. All right? Nice. Come on, folks. Share the live. Share the live. Good night to those of you on the Facebook. Seeing Sonny Al, Teresa Body, Maudlin. I'm seeing Antonito Sherms. Who else? I'm seeing Rita Pierre. Seeing Desiree Joseph, Joycelyn Francois. Good night. Charmaine, good night to you, my dear. Roses. Seeing Yolan Moraine. Christine Adams. Cuz, what's up? Rachel Alexander. Sherms. Miss Houston, good night to you. Shannon Felix, Cynthia B. Donna, Nelsia, Grenada Interior Designs. Good night to you. Veronica Edwards, Wallan Aquat. I'm seeing all of you. Carla Walcott, good night. Nursey, Wendy Ann, good night. Right. Let me see who else is there. Who else is Teresa Gill, Gillian Prescott, Nicole Ewing, Etta Batiste. I see you there. Marilyn Ferguson, I see you shake a leg, girl. Cicely Celestine, Ingrid Bond, Betty James, Norma, Denise Fabrio, yes, all of you. Rebecca Stafford, Andre Noel, Jacinta, the goddess, good night. Candy James, right, good night. Connie Tompkin, good night to you. All right, Latoya, Maguire, Deandra, Deandra Joseph, good night to you, my dear. Hope that you're having a fabulous night tonight. Keisha, Angus, Pamela, Mary, watch everybody. Good night. Yeah, nice.
Oh, if your life not in line with the will of God, you must learn the search.
And Shirma, good night to your mom as well. I know she's locked in.
Want to make it into heaven, my friend. Liberate.
Yeah, folks, and I want to get into something right away. There's an issue that now we've just had a Carifta Games that has been very successful for our athletes. And I'm very specific with what I'm saying because I believe the games have been very successful for the Grenadian athletes. In relation to the organization, physical and otherwise organization for the games, there are questions left to be answered. Yeah? What happened with the last race? I ain't expert. I ain't getting deep into it. But I'll just say that Grenadians on a whole, I don't think any Grenadian is satisfied with what took place with that final race, the 4x4, because in a 4x4 at that level, it's at least going to take 47 seconds, close to a minute, before the individuals are able to make the first round. And you're telling me that within that space of time, the officials could not stop the race, so that you had some people that complete the race and some that stop and who stop and start. And so you're telling me in all that space of time, nobody had the wherewithal to say, well, look, there's a problem here. Somebody could stop. It's a 4x4. It's not a 4x1. If it's a 4x1 and fellas take off and you see, bam, you could say, well, okay, it had time run off or something. You didn't get a chance to stop it. But a 4x4 and you didn't get enough chance. I ain't liking it. All right? I'm just saying it straight up. I'm not liking it. And I know that many other Grenadians are extremely disappointed and upset. And I hope that enough counseling is given to the athletes who participated in that particular event so that they understand that it is due to absolutely no fault of their own They did what they were trained to do. They did nothing wrong. Yeah, so at least that point should be made to the athletes, and also that Grenada ensures that nothing like that occurs again without a challenge. Yeah, that we challenge it anytime anything like that, because it wasn't our athletes' fault. Our athletes were not at fault, and therefore they should not have been punished in a sense, right? So let's just make sure things like that don't take place again. But you understand, is when you have leadership in these things. Also, as I have said, and you could go by the stadium, you're still seeing the equipment there from where they were laying the warm-up track, and I made the point that the warm-up track should be done and so. But after you have spent, from what I've been hearing, the estimates have been hearing, over $1 million to redo the athletic track. Now, albeit this administration has not found it necessary to get the Grenada National Stadium rated. Under the new National Party, under the Honorable Emlyn Pear, when you had the track done and you had the facility rebuilt, you got the rating. The people came in, they did their measurements and so on, and you got the rating for the Grenada National Athletic Stadium. Now the Karani James Athletics and Football Stadium. So you got the rating for the stadium, which was the highest rating possible for an athletic facility. You couldn't get higher than that. We got the highest rating, right? That's when you finish building the stadium after 2013. And you know, we were able to do that within the space of 2 years. We're able to complete that work and have the stadium ready and so on, and be able to stage the Carriacou Games in 2016. So we got the highest rating in relation to that. I hear it being challenged by a person who was calling themselves minister and totally, absolutely failed. But it is a fact, a written and certified fact, that we got the highest rating possible for athletic stadium. Yeah, so they better don't let the Chinese hear them saying that, because the Chinese had a lot to do with getting that rating for the athletic stadium. That said, this administration has not found it necessary to get that rating, to try and rate the work that has been done. After you spend, again, I don't know the exact figure, but I'm hearing over $1 million for the athletic stadium as it is, the athletic and football stadium as it is. Right. So you spend this money up to 48 hours before the games take place. You're there, and here you are running about like headless chicken. I don't know if they moved the equipment this evening, but it was there up to this morning. You had the equipment there still from when you were doing the warm-up track, which is a very important aspect of what was being done. All of that has finished, and now you're hearing that a reggae show is going to take place in that facility, the facility that you just said was damaged, the facility that you just spent over $1 million to fix. After you spent all that money, after you've done all these things, now you're going to immediately after have a show inside there. It have other places. Really and truly, it have other places. It can be held other places. You have Quarantine Point. You have load of playing grounds, playing fields, and so that can be used. There are other places that this can be held. Even if you decide you want to do it in the car park, you put up your thing on your barricade and you do it in the car park, that's one thing. But to go now and endanger the track that you just spend all this money after, and endanger the field that the Grenada national football team has to play on in a few weeks. And they also have, note this, the Grenada national football team, they also have World Cup qualifiers coming up that will have to be played in Grenada at that facility. And as it is right now, you know it's not up to scratch to be able to have that activity and so on. So the work should have actually begun today to ensure that, hey, you're going to make sure that the facility is ready for that activity. You didn't do that. That work should have started today to ensure that the facility is up to scratch for the football games that you have coming up. But instead of doing that, you decide that, no, let them have the stadium to have. How do you expect the Grenada Football Association to feel about that? No, let's be real with the thing. How do they expect the Grenada Football Association to feel about that. They have things, they have activities that are coming up at that facility. And let me tell you something, I'm not against the show, you know. I'm against the show at that facility at this time. Because it means to put up the stage, you're not going to put up the stage in the stands. You're going to have to put up the stage on the field. It means that trucks will have to be driving over the track that you now put up. It means that guys in work boots going to be walking up and down on the track that you now spend $1 million and put up. It means that when you're actually having the show, even if you put a covering on it, people standing on the covering and it's going to sink into the track itself and you might damage the track. So it means that I don't really understand what they're doing. Seriously. If anybody understands what they're doing, maybe you could give me a call and let me know what it is they're doing, because I don't understand what it is they're doing. Look, you have this coming up. Let me pull this up here for you. Right? You have the Caribbean versus the world. You have a Legends match that is going to be taking place on the 5th of May. So that's roughly a month away from now. In the dry season, when you have to be watering the grass and everything to get the field up to the standard. Right? So you have the Legends game that is coming up on the 5th. And that's celebrating 100 years of the Grenada Football Association. Because from what I'm hearing, the Grenada Football Association is not pleased at all. Is not pleased at all with the possibility of what is coming up there. Then, at the beginning of June, so 2 months from now, you've also got the World Cup qualifiers taking place. You've got Trinidad and Tobago versus Grenada, and this is to qualify for the World Cup taking place. That one on the 5th is taking place in Trinidad. And then you have Costa Rica versus Grenada on the 9th of June taking place here in Grenada. And remember, this is the same Grenada who was fined recently for a field that was not properly done. They were fined. You had situations where games had to be moved from locations and so on. And now you have World Cup qualifiers coming up. The GFA has a major activity coming up. And you just spend a pile of money for a facility. And you're going to just say, well, okay, we're going to just let a promoter do a show. Come on, man. Really and truly. A friend asked him if it's not in the cricket stadium. Not the cricket stadium I hear in, because I know that there's supposed to be some work going on in the cricket. If it's a cricket stadium, no problem. If it is in the cricket stadium at this point in time, no problem. But you see, when it comes to the athletic stadium, please don't let it be that what I have heard from various people, please don't let it be a situation that you're going to just destroy what you just spent all that money to fix. Please. Yeah? We've had the Carriacou games. It's not because you had the Carriacou games that the young people of Grenada don't need to use the tracks. We have Olympics coming up. We have the Olympics coming up. Our Lyndon Victor needs to be able to come home and practice here in Grenada. When he's here, he needs to be able to train. Karani needs to be able to train. So Lyndon, Karani, Anderson, all of our athletes, Kurt, all of our athletes need to be able to come home and train. So what you're going to do? Damage the facility? And that's the thing, my friend. As far as I know, there is construction taking place at the cricket stadium. There's work taking place across there. So that venue is out of it. So if they're saying stadium, it have to be that they're going to the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. And I personally have an issue with that. Yeah? And it shows as well the lack of foresight by this administration that they would allow something like that to happen. That they would not look for an alternative venue now, albeit the show is a nice show. I would tell anybody go to the show, but not if it's taking place inside there. Yeah, I would tell anybody go to the show that it's a wonderful show, that you're going to have all of these world-class, as far as I'm concerned, world-class performers and so on. I'll tell anybody go. But I disagree with having it in that facility. Yeah? Who vex? Go be vex. I have nothing to do with that. You could vex, your face is your own. But I disagree with having that activity at the Grenada National Stadium, the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, at this point in time. Yeah? Well, at any point in time, if you want to maintain the integrity of the track. I remember the track being damaged before because you had a situation where people were passing through there and they were wearing like high heel shoes and so on, they're walking on the track and dig into the track. There were situations people put bench and all kind of thing on the track and people go and sit down on the bench and the edges of the bench dig into the track and damage it. So it is not a simple thing as in, oh well, don't worry, people running on the track, you could go. No, it's a delicate something. And if the powers that be understand that they just spend this pile of money to fix it, they would not allow that to happen there. Seek an alternative venue. Work along with the promoter. The promoter don't spend the money. They pay for the artists and everything to come in. Work along with the promoter for alternative venue. In my mind, it makes absolutely no sense to spend $1 million to fix something and then come and immediately after you open it out to people to just go and destroy it. Maybe they have a treasure trove of money sit down some way. Maybe they're hiding the money in the houses in Corinth. Maybe they have a 2-3 million sit down up inside there some way so that they could just take it out and say, well, we're fixing the track again next year. I don't know, but I'm saying it's a bad idea. All right? Nice. Folks, I'll take your phone calls in and between. 440-7377. Good night to you, Small Axe. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Brian, good night, my brother. 440-7377. And I met my good friends from the Nexa New Dimensions tonight. I tell you, Liza Angel Apps, man, but supporting Pan. The Nexa New Dimensions. And they said to thank you all so very much. They didn't go back home with a slice of cake. Everything sell out. They didn't get to go back home with a slice of cake. Everything sell. The same with the barbecue that took place in Vole. Yeah, some friends of mine went up there. By the time they go up there by 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, no, just a few chicken wing it up, everything else done. Yeah? So I'd like to congratulate all of you that took part in these various activities, went out there and supported the various activities that took place. I just want to thank each and every one of you. Yeah?
A leader, and you lead because of power. If you take away from the poor man, and you leave them just to suffer. Oh, if your life not in line with the will.
I could tell earlier some of the sporting associations and the Grenada Football Association and so on, a lot of these people, they're not happy. They're not happy about that. I'll leave it up to them to say their piece. I say my piece. It's up to them to say their piece now. Because today itself, the preparation of the playing field should start. Because each time the Grenada Football Association, each time that they are fined because of the state of a playing field, each time they have an international match or a regional match, and they are fined 10,000 US is what the Grenada Football Association has to pay to the International Federation because of the state of the field. That's what they would have to pay. And government ain't paying it. Government ain't giving them, lending them, granting them the money to pay it. The Grenada Football Association have to find that money themselves and go and pay. They have to find the money and pay for themselves. Yeah? Nice.
And if you want to make it into heaven, my friend, live right and serve the Lord. Oh, if you are a leader and you lead because of power, if you take.
All right, folks, we have a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night.
I just tuned in. Who is having that show and what the show is about?
It's a reggae show, but I'm saying that I think that is a wrong location to have the show. I believe that is the absolute wrong location to have the show. You just spent all this money to do the tracks and so on, and here it is that you're going to have the show in the same facility and damage the track. There is the high possibility you're going to damage the track.
But it will damage it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they don't care because they know where to get millions. There's nothing. They don't care.
Oh, yeah.
That is why.
They know how to find money. Yes, I forget. Thank you
Yes,
so very much.
That is why. That is why I want to know integrity in public life. I want to know where the office is located, and I want to know who are the workers in there. And then we could deal with anything we have to deal with. There are certain things you have to know where to start, No, Sheldon, listen. In life, you accept things that you cannot change. But there are certain things you could change it by any means necessary. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you, my friend. And the Integrity in Public Life, their office is located. I'll give the location in a short while. Let me take this call. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hey, good night, sir. Go right ahead. You're live.
Brother Sheldon, I want to say congratulations to the Grenada Carriacou team for a job well done, and with the strong determination, they made us proud. And with that determination, Brother Sheldon, they go reach for greater things to come. So we say congratulations to them and all the visiting team. We say congratulations to you all for visiting our country and being happy that you will come in a country where you are happy and safe. Because Grenada is safe country. No matter what's going on in the country, the Grenada is still the most peaceful country in the Caribbean throughout the world, Brother Sheldon. I want to also say again, Brother Sheldon, I remember in the campaign, they say NMP didn't do anything. But where these present parliamentarians go and sit, the way they enter, that is a landmark of the NMP party, World Governance. So nothing, they're going to see nothing. When not nothing, they're going to see the VIP stand where they enjoy themselves. So they could say what they want. But the Grenada people know that NMP did a lot, and with the vision of the former Prime Minister, Grenada is on the mark, and Grenada shining light still, although the government out of NMP out of governance, but the NMP make Grenada proud. And whenever your Caribbean team give or any games that taking place in our country, we are proud, and Grenada is to the world. So, Brother Sheldon, have a blessed night.
All right, thank you. Yeah, they could have Carifta because of the foresight of Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the new National Party team to, in the first place, have a Grenada National Stadium. Lots of other countries in the OECS followed in the footsteps of Grenada. Grenada started it, and a lot of the other islands went afterwards and tried to get their own athletics facility and so on. But it was Grenada that started that. When Grenada did the cruise ship terminal, a lot of the other countries started to follow suit and go after it, Yeah? My goodness. And now people start to send me pictures of the stage actually already going up over in the athletic stadium. So, stage going up already. But I'm saying, I have no problem with the promoter. Let me just make this absolutely clear. I have no problem with the promoter. I have no problem with the people involved with the show. I'm just saying wrong location. Yeah, there has been enough time that it could have taken place at another location. Or even if you wanted to use the car park, other people, Vaughan and other people, they have their show out in the car park area. It has enough space and so on. And you would not be damaging the track. You would not be damaging the facility. But as long as you're going to be driving over that track and so on, there will be damage. Anyway, all right. Remember, Grenada has hosted the Grenada Invitationals. If we have a damaged track, the likelihood of athletes, world-class athletes, something that we never thought we would have seen here in Grenada, that we saw Olympic champions coming and compete against each other here in Grenada. We were able to see Karani James running after he won his Olympic medal here in Grenada at the stadium that was named in his honor. We have been able to see Olympic champions, world champions, Pan Am, Commonwealth Game champions, everybody here in Grenada at the Grenada Invitationals taking part and performing here. One of the reasons that Grenada was certified to be able to have those level of games is because Grenada Stadium had a certain certification. That is why we were able to have the Grenada Invitationals. These athletes are not going to leave and come in a place where they run the possibility of being damaged. They are not going to come to a country where even to warm up in the facility is going to be a problem. They're only going to come if their safety and security is assured. They're not going to come in a place where they can damage themselves. And again, please, folks, and please don't take it as an attack. And I want everyone to understand, this is not an attack on the promoter. This is not an attack on any individual or grouping dealing with the show itself. But it should not be taking place there after you spend $1 million to go and do the tracks. This is what you do right after. And just days after you've had a regional event there, then you decide to go and do this. I mean, that had to be a certain level of madness. Seriously. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That's the number for you to call. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside.
With the will of God, you must earn the searchlight word.
And we had to talk about seaweed and seaweed, eh?
Make it into
Yeah, come in and talk about seaweed and seaweed in a short while.
oh, if you are a leader and you lead because of power.
So I'm seeing pictures. I just can't pull it up on this system because it's on the other system tonight. As I said, we're doing work in studio. But I'm seeing pictures of the actual stage itself going up already.
God, you better serve
Which means you've already had vehicles that had to be driving over that track already, yeah?
into heaven, my friend. Live right and serve. Search me, oh God.
You know, it leads me to ask what is taking place with the Sea Moon Cultural Center. I find we hearing about the Sea Moon Cultural Center, you know, yeah. That should have been completed by now, so, you know. I find we hearing anything about the Sea Moon Cultural Center. We've got a call online. Good night.
Yes, Sheldon. Good night.
Good night.
Watch out, Sheldon. You see the trends of this seaweed now, where it going now.
Mm-hmm.
You see where it heading now, Al Grand Mall, and it going down attacking. Just now, attacking all the tourism down in the tourism belt.
From what I hear, some came in on Granada Beach.
And Sheldon, remember during the last election campaign, that same man is prime minister now. You remember he said that he's going to get a net from Japan to track all the seaweed and so forth. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I could never forget that he said that on the campaign trail. He said as soon as they reach in power, they have to look at that so much and it's very important and blah, blah, blah. And look at today. Where is the net? I'm calling upon the Prime Minister. We want the net now. Because if this thing continue, down on the tourist belt going on right down there, well, crap or smoke with pipe. Thank you.
All right, my brother. 440-7377. That's 440-7377.
The National Democratic Congress intends to tackle the Sargassum problem that has plagued the east coast of Grenada for the last several years. It affects the town of Grenville. It affects most of the east coast. Starting from as low down as Malmont, Lassa Jesson, St. David, all the way up. It has become a living nightmare, frankly, for many of our coastal residents. It affects the beaches. It no doubt you have to live with the stench. The residents in Subi's Marquis, and I think all the way into Grenville, you get that stench. Now, if you view life negatively, you will simply perhaps see the Sargassum as a problem. But if you view life positively, we know that everything that has been placed on planet Earth is placed there by the Creator. And He gives us the wisdom to find creative ways to use whatever it is that is on planet Earth. So we see the Sargassum as an opportunity for us, in fact, to be able to use it to the benefit of Grenada. And so we intend, first of all, to capture the Sargassum before it gets to shore. We intend to research, bring into Grenada nets that we can run along the coastline so that we can capture the Sargassum before it gets to shore. We can then bring it ashore. We can then store it appropriately, conduct the necessary research on it, and use the findings from the research to create products that would be useful for us. And let me make it clear, there are already other islands within the OECS that has been exporting the Sargassum to European countries. So we have an asset which is simply lying along our coastline, and we have not been utilizing it. We are satisfied that we have enough scientists, that we have enough researchers within Grenada, the OECS, and the wider Caribbean who will be able to help us address this problem. And so we do not intend to allow our citizens in Soubise, Marquis, Grenville, and the coastal areas of St. David and St. George's to simply have to continue to live with the stench of the Sargassum when it gets to shore and when the sun starts shining on it, which to a large extent is what creates the scent by the gases being released from the Sargassum. So we intend to address this matter and address it in a way that will in fact create economic activities for St. Andrew and St. David. So we want to assure you that we will not simply allow this problem to go unchecked. And I think even some of our farmers in the past have to some extent begun using the Sargassum as fertilizer. But in fact, there is very little support being provided by the Ministry of Agriculture or any other research department or group within the government. And so that is something we intend to tackle.
Yeah, folks. So you've heard the present sitting Prime Minister. That is when, boy, that man talks sweet. I think that man used to brush his teeth with honey, I tell all you. He had to use, it had to be a case that man was brushing his teeth with honey. Because that man put it on sweet, sweet, sweet. We're going to get thing and we're going to capture. So they're going to get in nets and capture the seaweed before it comes to shore. Yeah, and you can't have a situation where people have to live in between that and so on, ain't it? Yeah, we're going to need to ask them, what was the case with the Sargassum right now? Yeah, what is the case? What have they done in the 600? Let me check how much days they in there. Let's just make sure we're on the right thing. 600 and right. So the 649 days that they have been in. Yeah, what have they done to address the issue in relation to the Sargassum? What have they done in that space of time? That's what we need to find out from them, yeah? If they have done anything in relation to the Sargassum in that space of time. Because I see in seaweed. I know if I'm supposed to see. Well, I see in seaweed. So let me play something else here. Let me hear him on seaweed again. What you say?
So let me start with the Sargassum. It's plaguing the entire East Coast. It's probably already up to St. Patrick. So all of our beaches are affected, the entire coast, particularly places like Marquis, Soubise, the beach in Malmont. The Sargassum is relentless. But where many people see problems, we see opportunities. And it's sad that Grenada is always the last place to recognize the opportunities. In places like St. Kitts, they're exporting the Sargassum. They sent a container load, I think sometime last year, either to Finland or Sweden, one of these Scandinavian countries, so that they can do research on it. They're exporting the Sargassum. So, we have scientists in Grenada.
Folks, I wonder if we export any Sargassum yet. Anybody know of us exporting any Sargassum yet? Let me have the support.
We have research personnel in Grenada. What we have to look at the Sargassum is an opportunity. It's a resource that the good Lord has provided to us. And it is for us to take that resource and turn it into an asset. I understand that there are in some islands where they're already making things like jewelry and so on from the Sargassum. So we in the National Democratic Congress intends to rigorously pursue research as to how we...
Anybody could tell us how that research going in relation to the Sargassum? They intend to rigorously pursue research in relation to Sargassum. So probably we need to hear now if they have done any research and what are the outcomes and so on. All forget about Sargassum all in office now. All right, let me hear him again.
Sargassum is an opportunity, it's a resource that the good Lord has provided to us. And it is for us to take that resource and turn it into an asset. I understand that there are in some islands where they're already making things like jewelry and so on from the Sargassum. So we in the National Democratic Congress intends to rigorously pursue research as to how we can turn this Sargassum into an actual asset. Whether it's to export it, whether it's to turn it into other things, whether it's to help with composting and fertilizer, we intend to do so, right? Because there are serious opportunities there for us, but we just see it as something that is stinking and something that is rotting. So that is something that we intend to explore, but that is why you see science and research, that is why education is important.
Yeah, that's why it's important. Let me educate people about what you said. All right? Yeah, that's what the man said. The man said that they're going and do investigation and yeah, they go get net to go and pick it up and all kind of, not we say, he say. All right? Yes. Let's hear what else he had to say. We talking seaweed before we go and talk about seeing weed. All right? So let's talk about seaweed first. Right? Nice. So let's see. There's a statement he make on it again, by let me hear it.
We have our bamboo here spreading and we just see it as a nuisance. It's the same point I made about the Sargassum.
They do anything with the bamboo? I think they had a workshop with bamboo, or was it Calabash? They had a workshop with it. Let me hear anyhow.
We are a blessed land with an abundance of natural resources, but because we are not taking the time to educate and pursue research and development, what is a blessing, we see it as a curse. So I can say this to you. Part of being able to find solutions to the challenges we face is for us to be able to invest significantly in science, research, and development. And we must do that in order for us to be able to, even if it means sometimes importing the knowledge, by getting people to come in and train our students, train our businessmen, train our entrepreneurs. That is the opportunities that are available to us to ensure, because in a simple way, we could decide that we are growing bamboo on a commercial scale.
Right, so bamboo and seaweed. So right now we're supposed to have a bamboo and a seaweed industry. Let's take this call on the line. Hello, good night. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sheldon. Good night.
Good night, caller. Go right ahead. You're live.
All right, Sheldon. I just want to reiterate a point here. I recall when the Honorable Peter David made reference to the south of St. George's, and St. George's is already filled with hoteliers and other businesses. And he was asking people to move to St. David's with the Honorable Oliver Joseph. And Honorable Oliver Joseph went ahead and worked along with Honorable Peter David to bring a Hotel 1, Hotel 2 to St. David's. And it is disturbing to me that a lot of people today does not recognize the input that these two men made to get to hotels. Now I hear, after long demonstrations and mangrove this and mangrove that and bird nesting here and bird nesting there, now I hearing that these ones are looking to bring more development, more hotels to St. David by talk. And I know it's only talk they could talk. I am just saying that to mention a few things. Because one of the things I heard is that sometimes they think that they have it all. Sweet talk, good talk, nice talk. They could not have challenged the NNP economically by development in this country. Because Grenada was developed and the plan of the economists, like those that were in there in the past, the last government, they could not challenge them and the economic development of this country. So they had to look to tickle people's ears with other ways and means. So they moved to the Sargassum. They moved to the brick water plant in Sauteurs. They moved to the roads that was touched in Sauteurs. They moved to a number of other activities, paying pension, and a lot of things that they tickle people ears with. No, they call him in his own image and likeness, that Morris Bishop in the making or God sent in the making. But all these were lies and lies and lies and more lies. I'm wondering when they will get the truth to surface, because it appears to me the campaign was a big lie. Everything, regularization, was a big lie. If they love the poor people so much, why not raise it to 650? When they get into office, they remove 150 from the poor people. And these are the things that I am very, very much wanting to hear people get to know. These are the crowns of the matter. All I am hearing, what have they put in the pipeline to develop this country, to show that people will be eating and drinking as anybody else in this country, and not having to beg. The only thing I see going up in this country is that they're flying high and crime is rating. Suicide, homicide, starving, riot, here or there, is escalating. I am wondering when the Prime Minister of this country and his colleagues will come to the ground and accept the fact that they make a lot of mistakes and decide now is the time that we should call on board the seniorities of this country, the people with the know-how of this country, and stop teasing people's ears and brambling and lying to people about what they intend to do, because they have not done nothing yet to show that they have start to make a development mood for this country. I'm still wondering, how will they start and where will they start? How will they get unemployment down? Where will they start creating new avenues for job opportunities for people in this country? The students are graduating. Some is graduating this year, some next year. Some from TAMCC, some from college, NULO, some from SGU. I'm very hopeful that they could find place for those that are coming out, instead of putting them on the block or allowing them to go on the block to fight survival for the fittest. And I don't hope that any more crimes will be committed in this country, because people is looking for money. People is looking for survival. And I hope that they could put things in place to avoid that. Thank you very much, Sheldon. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right.
Have a blessed night.
Thank you. All right, folks, 440-7377. That's the number for you to get on to the inside of tonight's program.
Since 2014, for you to not smell the stench that comes from the Sargassum that the people of Soubise and Marquis have to live with.
You ain't smelling it now, brother. It doesn't pass up there. You're in that area.
Day in, day out. Where have you been to not know that the fishermen of Soubise and Marquis have to walk through the Sargassum every day to get onto and off their boats with their fish.
And what has he done since he has come in to deal with that particular issue in the last 649 days? Yeah?
Where have you been to not know that the Sargassum is damaging the engines of the boats?
So Sargassum stop damage engines and thing now. It maybe maybe a different type of Sargassum we get now. Maybe Sargassai. Yeah.
Where have you been to not know that the Sargassum is creating skin rashes to our fishermen and the people who go on the beach and have to wade through the Sargassum?
Yeah, might want to check the south of the island right now. You may want to check and see if it has Sargassum down there, because it's all nice, all the nice words. Yeah? As I said, they used to brush their mouth with honey while other people using Colgate. He was brushing him out with honey. Yeah? And a lot of folks, they get hold with it, and you can't be upset with them. They get hold. Yeah? Many people have realized that they have made a mistake, and they are willing to correct that mistake once they get the opportunity to do so. Yeah? Once they get the opportunity to do so, they're willing to correct that mistake that they have made. They recognize that they've made a mistake, and we all make mistakes in life. They've recognized that, and they are willing to correct that mistake.
Attempt to regulate that problem. Listen, in the earlies, they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront, and any ABC environmentalist would have told you that that was not sound. So they started to take out all of the sand, and then the water started to come right up to the road.
Somebody please tell me what he doing right now for that particular area. Let's take this call. We'll come back to him. Hello, good night.
Yes, Mr. Scott.
Hi.
You want to trap Sargassum, seaweed. You want to use Grenada truck to go and pick mango and coconut and guava and then garbage day. But he's staying in Dubai. How are you doing that?
Maybe
How are you doing that?
Maybe shipping the equipment from Dubai.
And it's talking garbage about gun amnesty. Soldiers only have a little weapon. Learn to use it properly, because when we get into office, we need soldiers.
No, brother. Let me don't encourage that.
We need soldiers
Boss,
to run to take care of our country.
You want police come and arrest me? I can't encourage that, brother. That is a treasonous statement. Let me distance myself from that statement immediately, brother, because that is a treasonous statement.
I'm very sorry. I am very sorry. But he talk a lot of garbage. Mm-hmm. But if I meet him face to face, anyway, it doesn't matter how way, I would approach him as a man and let him know that all he just spit there is vomit. Have a good night.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we just have to be careful, right? Yeah. But according to a good friend of mine here, he said that when you listen to the Prime Minister, you have to remember something that the MP for St. George Northeast said. When man feeling sweet, did I say anything? All right, so let's go back.
To regulate that problem. Listen, in the earlies, they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront, and any ABC environmentalists would have told you that that was not sound. So they started to take out all of the sand, and then the water started to come right up to the road. And then because that didn't work, nothing else was done. But hear me, an NDC administration will address that. In fact, we have already contacted a foreign company based out of Martinique that specializes in capturing the seaweed, the Sargassum, collecting. Well, they could do it if they want. The people will benefit if they can get it done before elections. Yeah? So, capturing it and washing, but not only that, we're going to bring it ashore, and we are going to do research on it and make products with it. In other territories in the region, it's being done. Why can't we do it too? Let's take this apparent curse and see the opportunity in it with an NDC government. That will be done.
Yeah, so that would be done, ain't it? All right, okay. Folks, just remember, we're supposed to have some net. I know if them net and them in Dubai, according the last caller said the Prime Minister want to achieve all these things from Dubai. So maybe caller, maybe the net and them in Dubai, maybe he bringing it down string by string. Each time he do a trip, he may bring down one string for the net. So in probably the next 3,000-4,000 trips, we go finally have a net because he bringing them down string by string by string. But just one more time, let me let you hear exactly what he said in relation to sargassum. So we see in the weed, right? We see in the seaweed. So it's a wrong right now. So let me hear what you were saying again.
The sargassum problem that has plagued the east coast of Grenada for the last several years.
You might want to check that on the west coast now too, but anyhow.
It affects the town of Grenville. It affects most of the east coast. Starting from as low down as Malmont, Lassa Justin, St. David, all the way up. It has become a living nightmare, frankly, for many of our coastal residents. It affects the beaches. It no doubt you have to live with the stench. The residents in Soubise, Marquis, and I think all the way into Grenville, you get that stench. Now, if you view life negatively, you will simply perhaps see the sargassum as a problem. But if you view life...
Yeah, so it's not a problem. The stink, it humbugging the fishermen, it covering the beaches, making people don't want to go on the beaches, but it's not a problem. Yeah, it's not a problem. Okay, all right, no problem.
Positively, we know that everything that has been placed on planet Earth is placed there by the Creator. And He gives us the wisdom to find creative ways to use whatever it is that is on planet Earth. So we see the sargassum as an opportunity for us, in fact, to be able to use it to the benefit of Grenada. And so we intend, first of all, to capture the sargassum before it gets to shore. We intend to research.
So in the last going on 2 years, has anybody seen any capturing of the sargassum before it get to shore, or any attempt at doing that, Benio?
Grenada. And so we intend, first of all, to capture the sargassum before it gets to shore. We intend to research, bring into Grenada nets that we can run along the coastline.
So anybody see the nets? I'm just asking, did anybody see the nets? Have you all seen the nets that are supposed to be here to protect our coastline? So there was researching nets and all kind of thing. Remember the next one say they already had a plan. If an NP want to take the plan, let it, that is Dave. If they want to take the plan, let it take the plan. But we already speak to people outside of Grenada. We'll come back to he just now.
So that we can capture the sargassum before it gets to shore?
Yeah, so they're going to get some nets. Yeah, right? They're going to get...
We intend to research, bring into Grenada nets that we can...
Right, so they can't say that he didn't say that. It's not Sheldon say it. It's not you all say it. It's he say it, isn't it? Right, so they're going to research and get some nets to bring into Grenada to protect the shoreline, right? Nice. We're making sure we hear what you say.
Before it gets to shore. We intend to research, bring into Grenada nets that we can run along the coastline so that we can capture the sargassum before it gets to shore. We can then bring it ashore. We can then store it appropriately, conduct the necessary research on it, and use the findings from the research to create products that would be useful for us. And let me make it clear, there are already other islands within the OECS that has been exporting the sargassum to European countries. So we have an asset which is simply lying along our coastline, and we have not been utilizing it. We are satisfied that we have enough scientists, that we have enough researchers within Grenada, the OECS, and the wider Caribbean.
Maybe since they come in office, those scientists and researchers travel, because we ain't about no work with the sargassum again, ain't it?
Will be able to help us address this problem. And so we do not intend to allow our citizens in Soubise, Marquis, Grenville, and the coastal areas of St. David and St. George's to simply have to continue to live with the stench of the sargassum when it gets to shore and when the sun starts shining on it, which to a large extent is what creates the scent by the gases being released from the sargassum.
The man is a chemist. I can remember him in chemistry class back in National College. I thought he was in econ. I don't think I saw him in chemistry. Anyhow.
So we intend to address this matter and address it in a way that will in fact create economic activities for St. Andrew and St. David. So we want to assure you that we will not simply allow this problem to go unchecked.
Yeah, they would not allow the problem to go unchecked. But let's hear something that Dave said again. That's Senator Dave Andrew. He said that they already, that's when they were in opposition, that they already had contacted people who know how to deal with. Let's hear him again, right? I know it's kind of difficult to listen to. And I know some people, right, okay, well, they might have to put a little cloth over the TV or you know, yeah, some kind of thing. I know it's difficult to listen to. But let me hear them.
Listen, in the earlies, they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront. And any ABC environmentalist would have told you that that was not sound. So they started to take out all of the sand, and then the water started to come right up to the road. And then because that didn't work, nothing else was done. But hear me, an NDC administration will address that. In fact, we have already contacted a foreign company.
Oh, yeah? This was before the election, during the election campaign, eh? So they have already contacted a foreign... Let me hear, because we have to ask him about that when we see him, eh? The foreign company that they contacted, right? Nice.
NDC administration will address that. In fact, we have already contacted a foreign company based out of Martinique.
And we hear where the company from too. So it's a foreign company out of Martinique. You know, let me take this call and then we'll come back to him. Yes, we have a call online. Good night. Hello. Hi, good night, caller. You're live.
Hi. Yeah, listen, I think on the western side, thinking of construction on the western side.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay.
You go ahead.
Right. I looking at something that I saw talking about in Baribo, making a road from there to go into Guam. I was just considering if it would be more feasible to repair the road where the mudslide was after it passed Mount Morris. And you know, because to go through Mount Morris is a lot more area to cover.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot further. So I was thinking, maybe if you cut down the hill, because even to Maribo, as a child I was scared to pass through Maribo because it's a big cliff. I had a brother in mind that dropped off the cliff there at night. I mean, he wasn't driving.
Maribo? Or you're talking about Maboya?
No, going into Gulf.
Going into Gulf? Oh, Maboya.
You know,
Maboya is the name of the area. Maboya, yeah. But that area, they're doing that area. No, there are two things there that you really brought up. One, there is the situation going through Mount Moritz. It is because of the collapse of the road in Molinier. So that Molinier road, it is being repaired, although the time keeps getting pushed back by how much months, and so on. So now we're hearing what was supposed to be ready in January, according to one minister. Now we're hearing it's going to be ready at the end of the year. Possibly a little earlier, but this contracted thing is for the end of the
promises? You mean, what are you telling me? Promises, or it can actually happen?
No,
as far as I looking on, I see that a lot of promises is making, even because you're talking your topic tonight about sargassum, seaweed and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is a Caribbean thing. Yeah, Barbados is a whole, it's all on the east coast going to the south coast. There's not much you will get on the west coast. So if you're seeing something getting on the west coast, it's because it tides.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know who the Honorable Deacon Mitchell is, that he will put up nets in a lot of fantasies to create an illusion to people, because every island can't put up nets. You know, the cost of putting up nets to stop sargassum to come to the coast. So he's going to put up nets where? Around Grenville, going where? To certain places, and then leave it to come in on other places. If you have something that is out to sea, it is something that is geographical. As a child, I never experienced so much. I used to frequent certain places on the south coast, and I will know, there always was weeds in the sea. If you go to certain places coming from, say, like Fort Judy, going eastward to Wester Hall, all of those places, all the beaches, all had moss growing from the sea. That what creates lambi. That is how Grenada gets so much lambi, because of the curves of the things. A place like Barbados does not have no curves. It is a straight line curve. But what I'm observing in all of the islands is the same situation in the geographical things. The towns is more or less located the same place. The parishes are getting neglected that has none, like say St. David's. St. David's does not have a town. You understand? In Barbados, St. Philip does not have a town. They have other parishes on the east coast that does not have a town. But the most of commercial traffic takes place on the southwest of all of these islands. Check it out. On the southwest of all of these islands. And at the end of the day, you know, people have to be coming to a realization of themselves and stop telling so much lies and hypocrisy and running around the bush and playing them. The Honorable Deacon Mitchell is no idiot. He is an educated man, but he is a youngster. And if he thinks along certain lines, his prosperity is going to be a short-lived one. If he wants to come on the high one, then he has to present himself on a different. All that, the clippings that you showed tonight, I am very happy to see all of those clippings, sir. Because really and truly, it shows promises of in the sky things. Promises are not delivering, doing nothing. You talk about the stadium. It is ignorance. It is ignorance. It is pure ignorance to have that kind of show in there, sir. And I agree with you 100%. Does not make it. Listen, where I live, I tell you where I live. But by my accent, I guess everyone knows where I live, right? So it doesn't matter for me to say where I live or not. But we don't have segregation between stadiums and stadiums. Jamaicans mash up the whole of the West Indies. Jamaicans always have that. You know why? The Jamaican government invested into sports. Sports is something that you take the young people out of crime. If you don't do certain things to make young people between the ages of 13 and 20 be active in some kind of something, because young people are very challenging. People like to challenge one another. It's a nature. Nature, sports is challenged. In life is challenged. In politics is challenged. And religion is challenged. Everything is challenged. So at the end of the day, if you don't let the young people have something to put the energy in, to communicate and say things, and then teach them along the way, that's where their coaches and the things in life that you try to help the young people, then you will have a bad crime rate in the world. And that's what goes on. But in 2024, we are living in a fast-paced world, a world that is designed by long history before us. And there's no joke and make matters about it. And some people like to sweep it under the carpet, and people like me like to, talk about it. Let's be realistic. America has a culture of racism, classism, things, and it's handed down. We have been handed down in the Caribbean from America. We have to take a piece of paper to go to another country to look for a visa to go into their land, but they don't have to get any visa to come into our land. And you ask yourself, okay, I'm big, you're small, and that's the way that it is. It's always a challenge. So you see, back to the point that I'm making, Sheldon, is that at the end of the day, sports is a very crucial thing with young people, because they have a competitive nature. They want to compete regardless to what it is. I'm better than you. You can do this, I can do. And then if you sit down, then you put the people on the block to say, you know what? You're a chicken. Because you ain't following, or you don't want to be adventurous, or you scare the cat, and all of those kind of things. It's something that, in life, it don't work that way. You have to have some money for sports. in every island don't have the same amount of money, they don't have the same amount of currency. We've been through the whole 9 years of the world and politics and everything, Mr. Scott.
All right.
But really and truly, we as human beings need to sit down and analyze reality. Analyze reality is what life is all about. And for what I'm seeing, there's no reality in certain things that I am seeing going on. There's a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of telling lies. You come back and show things that promises and then delivering nothing at all. Then delivering nothing at all. I'm sitting down in my living room and I'm telling you, I'm knowledgeable of reality of things. And this government is going to bring Grenada down if Grenadians do not take a stance and say what is on their mind.
Of course.
Don't let
Paula, we're going to have to wrap it there. Well, thank you so very much for your input, my friend.
Listen, thank you very much for your time as well.
All right.
Because, in life, we never know when we will pass away. So maybe it's my contribution for my last. And
you have to impart, yeah.
Yeah, well, nice talking to you, man.
And we hope to hear you soon again.
Yes,
all right.
Cool, Sheldon.
Thank you very much. All right. Yes, indeed, folks. And yeah, I just want to make sure that we have enough time for me to, because I want you all to hear exactly what the gentleman was saying here. And all the callers made very valuable points, very valuable points. But I just wanted you all to make sure that you all hear. Because it's supposed to be a Martinican company. I ain't see the Martinican company. I see some Martinican athletes over the weekend. But I know, let me hear.
And NDC administration will address that. In fact, we have already contacted a foreign company based out of Martinique that specializes in capturing the seaweed, the Sargassum, collecting. Well, they could do it if they want. The people will benefit if they get it done before elections.
I'll if any people behind him look like they wondering what he's talking about. But anyhow, to me, the people who behind him look like they wondering what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So capturing it and washing, but not only that, we're going to bring it ashore, and we are going to do research on it and make products with it.
Important part he said. I want you all to hear this part again.
Let's attempt to regulate that problem. Listen, in the earlies, they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront, and any ABC environmentalist would have told you that was not sound.
Okay, so let's hear that statement again.
Listen, in the earlies, they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront, and any ABC environmentalist would have told you that was not sound.
Oh, that's
so they decided to take out all of the sand.
That's not sound. Okay, all right. That's not sound. You shouldn't do that. Should not bring heavy machinery on the beach. All right, we should not bring heavy machinery on the beach. So I know if you're talking about, machinery like that's Grenada's beach, yeah. So I know if you're talking about that kind of thing, that you should not bring heavy machinery on the beach. So yeah, because that is it seems as though that is, look them tourists and them there and you have your tractor. Yeah, the fella in the tractor, look, he jeans pants showing there, and yeah, he picking up the. I ain't see no net. Anybody see a net out in the water? I ain't see no net out in the water there. But I seen the heavy machinery. It on the beach. So maybe something I know. Maybe I have it wrong. Maybe we ain't hear what he say proper. Maybe we did not hear what he said proper. He said any ABC environmentalist will tell you that what you're seeing in that picture is wrong. Yeah. So look, seaweed on Grenada's beach today. Right. Okay. But not nice. It need to be cleaned and so on. But he said any ABC environmentalist will tell you that to put heavy machinery on the beach is wrong because you're digging up all the sand. Yeah, you're digging up all the sand. You're digging up, don't pass the mouse on it. You're digging up all the sand, right? Yeah, and then the sea go come in and all kind of things. So according to the minister, that is wrong. Don't do them kind of thing. All right, nice, right? We're just making sure we know what he was saying and we hear what he was saying proper and them kind of thing. We don't want to misquote the man. One thing we just try we best not to do here, we try our very best not to misquote them people and them. We don't want them say that we lying on them and that kind of thing. We're making sure we're not misquoting them people and them. What they say is what they say. So let me hear what he had to say one more time. That's the last time. You're listening to hear again after that one. One more time. We go listen to him and hear what he had to say with this one again, right? Nice. Yeah. So let me hear him there. Let me start.
Listen, in the earlies, they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront.
They do what? My goodness, how they could do that?
They brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront. And any ALC environmentalist would have told you that that was not sound. So they started to take out all of the sand, and then the water started to come right up to the road. And then because that didn't work, nothing else.
Yeah, so right.
Good night.
Good night, my dear.
How are you?
I'm quite fine. You go right ahead. You're live.
Sheldon, I know the show is a good show coming up, but you see where the athletic stadium, they should put in that show right there. After we spend millions of dollars to get this stuff done, they want us to go and match up that place? No. I prefer you go in the cricket stadium because normally they don't have the show and we just enjoy ourselves. So I want this show to be there. This athletic stadium, that is a no-no for me. It will look nice.
Mm-hmm.
And concerning the Sargassum, which part the premise are going to put at net? We have north, south, east, and west. So how you can do that?
But that's what you tell people, and a lot of people believe him.
Talk, when we get into politics. And when we had to get there, they're doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing they're doing. So there's a talk, there's a no. You can't do that. Where you go ever see where you get net and get research and what. You need to research for yourself. Tell him one eye long. Bye.
You can tell him man he need to go and get research for himself. All you know is you know. Folks have some kind of call and said, all you can tell him man he need to go and get research for himself. We've got a call online. Hello, good night.
Yeah, hello, good night. Sheldon.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Not too bad.
Great, man.
I call him from St. David's.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to apologize to the people of Grenada for the lies what the Prime Minister's saying. That he represent everybody in St. David's. A shame.
Boss, you married yet?
When I see you play this...
Let me ask you, you married
yes,
yet?
Sir.
Okay, you're lucky because if you didn't marry as a man from St. David, when they hear St. David man lying, so you wasn't getting a woman, you know. No way you would have get married, you know.
Sheldon, I sit down there and I listen to that man here and I shame, you know. Be honest with you, I shame. Because all what the man saying there, you know in the back of his head, that cannot happen. It cannot happen. Like the man said just now, earlier on, that he taking all Grand Lake truck and I'm going to pick mango. That man forget where Grenada is.
Mm-hmm.
All the hills and valley, how you going down there and pick mango and thing? The man just know. Watch, I apologize to Grenada people for this lie. That man represent everybody in St. David's. Sheldon, that hurt me. When I tell that hurt me, really hurt me. Trust me. That man was misleading the people of Grenada. And a lot of people just drinking it. Me and a guy had a conversation today on work. And when I talk about that, I say, watch, you know all what going on when you talk about the bikers. I say, you know all what going on in the workers that? I say, if you want somebody to protect you, who you go ask? He say, God. I say, but the man asking Bishop. I say, what going on there? Bishop are looking over Grenada. God was no hand in that. So what going on there now is he. Bishop are looking over Grenada. So that what going on there. All this crime and thing are going on because it's a man who looking over us, not God, not Christ. So all what going on there, not accidentally. The man call up on Grenada, he call that on Grenada. So people taking this thing as a joke. The man had to call a national day of prayer and ask for forgiveness to the Almighty God for what he do. Otherwise, Sheldon, all these things will just keep on happening. That are no joke. Me and a pastor talk about that. The man tell me that is a serious thing the man do there. Asking Bishop to look over us. You know, be with us, be with the young people. You know, I don't know if you had a clip, you know. Please let people hear.
No, I could find it. I don't have it right now, but it's easy to find.
Yeah. That is a serious thing. After when a pastor told me, he addressed that in his church. That is a serious thing the man said there. So all that crime and them are going on there. That will happen accidentally. The man call it on Grenada. But people now just feel it as a joke. You know? That man represent everybody in Grenada in this kind of thing, and people listen to that man all over. You know? And people are saying nothing. Sheldon, that thing hurt me as a youth man, I'm telling you. That hurt me. And I live in the St. Nevis and hearing a man saying and listening on them day. A shame. A shame. God love tell the truth. A shame. Sheldon, have a wonderful night because I'm real sick about that.
Thank you so very much, bro.
Yeah.
No, and folks, remember, we have enough of these things to play from now until the next election, eh? Yeah, whether it near, whether it far, we have enough to play from now until the next election, right? So they could duck from press conferences as much as they want. They could attempt to hide from the media as much as they want. But we have all that they said before, and they could go online and start to delete. It may make no sense because we copy it already. So if they want to go and delete, go and delete. It just shows how guilty they are. Yeah? So they could go and delete. But anyway, folks, remember there was another story that we were hearing during the election time. Wasn't only seaweed they was talking about, you know. Yeah.
Pursue as well the possibility of introducing and growing on a large scale vanilla beans in Grenada. And then finally,
anybody growing vanilla beans yet? Anybody get a vanilla beans yet? Anyway, now let's pass off the vanilla. We'll go back to vanilla another day.
As we've said before, we intend to legislate the legalization of marijuana so that we can create a medical marijuana industry and the byproducts associated from the cannabis plant. And I want to re-emphasize, the legalization of marijuana is to create a medical marijuana industry and the creation.
That is not where your boys was going out and tell fellas on the blocks. They were going out and tell fellas on the blocks, we go legalize the marijuana so all you would not have to worry about that again. That you could grow it and you could do what you want to think. So while you saying that there, your people were saying differently out on the streets.
Of commercial byproducts from the cannabis plant. We have been left behind in that regard. Again, our colleagues in St. Vincent, Jamaica, in fact, all of the OECS have moved leaps and bounds ahead of us in that regard. So the only advantage of us being left behind is that we can take the best of all of what they've done so that when we do launch the product, we can then leapfrog them because we would have been able to learn from their experiences. And so that is the approach we intend to pursue as it relates to that.
So folks, is marijuana now legalized in Grenada? I know I see fellas smoking as normal and thing, but I know when it was coming down to the last couple of years of the last NNP administration, that the police were told, listen, what sense does it make to go and arrest a guy that you see with a spliff? Yeah, one spliff, he's smoking his spliff at the side of the road or wherever it is, you go behind him. The amount of time it takes the police now to run behind this guy, apprehend him, put him in a police vehicle, bring him to the police station, wherever that police station is located, keep him locked up there, provide tea, breakfast and dinner for him and lunch, provide all of that for him. Outside, I provide that if they have any medical issues, the state is responsible, whether it's a toothache, they have to get a dentist or something even worse, they have to get a doctor, medication, everything, because they are now in the charge of the state. And outside of that, outside of all of that, then you're bringing them to court and all sorts of things. By the time you went and the police officer run and grab the fella and pick him up to bring him, it already costs more than the spliff that the guy have. So economically, it makes no sense. Even when you bring him to court and you charge him a couple $100, the state has probably spent thousands of dollars already on that individual. On the police officers, if you check the amount of time versus the salary, or the amount of hours they take them to apprehend and prepare the case and everything against the individual. So they were told, listen, it don't make sense going behind these. The guys who bringing in the big shipments and that kind of thing, yeah, sure, you deal with them. But the fellas that you find with a little spliff at the side of the road, having a smoke or something or somewhere, you leave them alone, right? Up came the NDC and they were saying, well, look, we are God's gift to Grenadians and we are going to legalize. While the New National Party was talking about decriminalization, these individuals said, no decriminalization, legalization. Then you start to hear legalization, and that was the word that people grabbed on to because you hear legalization. So the smokers and all the people involved in it hear legalization and they start to get excited. and wasn't understanding that what the New National Party was saying was similar to what you've seen happen in some of these OECS territories. That if you have under a certain amount, in some countries I think it's 2 ounces or so, if you have under that, that's a legal amount. If you have over that amount, then you are given a ticket. If it's a large amount like a trafficking or so, then it's jail. But if you have under 2 ounces, up to 2 ounces, you are allowed that. You are allowed a couple trees and so on. So there was a different model that the NNP was looking at in relation to this particular issue. Instead of jamming up the court, you see a set of fellas, every week you see a set of guys walking, going up the hill, heading to the magistrate's court because they get catch with a spliff or something like that, tying up the court system when they could have been dealing with rapists, child molesters, and all these other people that you're tying up the court system, dealing with these people with what could be a ticketable offense. The same way you get a ticket for your vehicle, they catch you with over the amount, they give you a ticket for it. They catch you with a large amount, then you're going to jail, the normal system. Yeah? And it was even, there were discussions during the period of the NNP in relation to this issue as well. There were several discussions that took place during the period of the New National Party. Let me pull this one from, I'll play part of this one from GBN News for you all.
Dialogue was held among various stakeholders highlighting the Carriacou Commission on Marijuana Report 2018 to educate all involved on the proposed legalization and decriminalization of cannabis in Grenada. The Grenada Conference of Churches and the Interagency Group Development spearheaded the discussions held at the Grenada Trade Center Annex on Friday. Representing Interagency Group is Sandra Ferguson.
So that the information on the
the missing lady actually finding something, but that is from much years ago anyhow.
Findings and recommendations of the report could be disseminated. We have also had perspective.
And folks, I'm going to give the callers the preference. Hello,
well, I just want to say good night.
Good night, Cam, because somebody done ask for you already.
Good night to the Grenadian people.
Yes, indeed. How are you doing?
How
are you doing?
All right, you know.
Yes, yes.
To be honest, me TV on, but every time they come on, I lower the volume because I don't want to listen to none of them. None of them. None of them. I lower the volume. I don't want to listen to who are they, Sandra?
Yes, Sandra.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to none of them. They're too bad mind. Them is bad mind people in this country here. And I watch. The one here, you know what I'm saying tonight. I would have really, when we me and the committee I go on something, you know. And what I go tell that man, I know I will get a jail. I know I will get a jail. Yes, I just praying to God to meet him at face to face.
You're bail sure, don't worry. Mind. You're bail sure, don't worry about that.
He go and stand up by a ganja tree. That was to catch some of them Rasta man. To catch them. Them don't care about poor people, Sheldon. You're starving. These people don't care about poor people in this country. They don't care about poor people in this country. And all of them in that cabinet come from poor family. The mother and the father who work on the cocoa, and the mother and the more people flow. They do that thing. And look how they're treating people. But they come in. One day Congo te, me auntie used to say. When I asked her what she means, she said, you go find out. But don't worry. They're coming for them. I used to look at Mr. R.C.P. Moore as a young girl. That was the speaker of the house in the time. And he was in a little room with all the money and water and wealth he had. You know where he used to stay? That big house on St. John Street, going by the courthouse. They used to have the union place in a little room, in a toilet and bathroom. One room, they come in, and when you don't work for certain things, it just vanish away. So I don't envy them with the money they take and put on their salary. I don't envy them. I don't feel no way, because if you don't work for something, it just vanish away. Deacon and the gang, they coming for them slowly. Everybody balling, even the unsupporters, but some of them just shame and some coming out now, some speaking. I don't pray them, God hear me. I don't pray none of them. because I live in Grenada and I know them. I know, Sheldon, the only reason why I don't bust some of them bubble because of your program. Because there is certain things I know about this thing and they're too bad mind. Anyhow, good night to Grenada. Good night to everybody. And allow me, please, sir. I have nice cocoa ball. So people that come on vacation. Oh, Grenadians that here and the family want cocoa, come by Miss Cami. I have nice cocoa, local cocoa. And that cocoa tea, that cocoa is a nice cocoa, well seasoned. The only thing I have to put is your milk.
Yep.
Good night to everybody.
Kame.
And I want them to listen because I don't pray them. I don't pray Dick Nanny Gang. I don't pray them.
Kame.
Yes, sir.
You have coconut oil?
No, I don't have coconut oil. I could ask. I have a friend in Riverside does make. I'm going to call and find out teacher.
Because
I don't have.
Some
right
does look
now.
for that and the honey when they're going back too. You have asham?
Yeah. I don't have much.
Okay.
The asham a lot sell out today because some people went back today and they buy out the asham.
Tambran ball.
A little afraid to come and buy. Come and get the cocoa and the asham.
Yeah,
I
tambran
don't
ball.
have corn flour.
Tambran ball.
I have tambran ball.
Right. So they go check you. We making
Well,
sure they know what you have.
come.
Yes.
I'm doing it honest and I serve in the public. So, and I thank God I don't working with these people. I don't pay them the rent. And anytime they mess with me, Grenada turn upside down. Good night to everybody. Dr. Mitchell, good night. Peter David, good night. And Miss Jolan Ben, enough respect to you, ma'am. Good night, darling.
Good
Give
night,
mom my love.
All right,
Night.
Gabby, thank
Bye-bye.
you. So, folks, you're looking for the cocoa ball. And I know I could talk from personal experience. Good. That is some of the best I get since my grandmother gone to the great beyond. That is some of the best cocoa ball I does ever get. Yeah. So you check Miss Cammy again. The nice thing, right? Even if you want Seymour or something, just tell her she organizing that for you and thing. All right. Nice, folks. Let me hear what they're saying about the ganja again. Let me hear what they're saying.
The findings.
Coming to the forefront of the discussion is the possible health and social effects on youth and children, law and human rights, and economic impact. Representing the Rastafarian community is Prince Nanan and Michael Batiste from the Nyabingi tribe.
For many years, the Rasta has been going through a lot of persecution, and we've been suffering. And this reasoning this morning is an open eye, and I hope it continues. So marijuana is a business for Grenada also. To get the people out of that poverty, we could have better roads, better schools, and people will have better paychecks if marijuana is well marketed.
I feel so happy that this morning more than one person spoke on that issue, because that issue, as I said, has troubled me for a very long time, whereas they say, you know, if you smoke marijuana, you're going mad, and marijuana is no good. And there is so much important things about this one crop and so many products we can make from it.
Representing the Conference of Churches is Bishop Clyde Harvey, Deputy Chair of the Conference of Churches, and Reverend Silbert Prescott, head of the Methodist community.
Presentations have been magnificent. Professor Antoine was really very much on point. But then she was not afraid to say that there are some issues in the report which we all need to be careful about. Like, we can say that the report recommends legalization, decriminalization, but she also says that we have to be careful about our young people. And then we have to be careful about the fact that if you agree to certain things with regard to marijuana, that is growing in small amounts and so on, you have to be very careful that you do not create a situation in which the small farmer has no place and it all becomes another opportunity of big business running the small man out of a living.
My view is that what we are trying to do as Conference of Churches is trying to bring the matter into a wider national, in a wider national framework where individuals, everyone can get engaged in the discussion, because I think it is something that affects the entire nation. And I think this provides an opportunity for the nation to share and to engage on the subject of decriminalization of marijuana and become more informed.
Yes, folks. So what the New National Party was doing was having discussions. That was under the New National Party. having discussions in relation to the issue. In fact, a bill was brought to Parliament and laid before Parliament for the first reading, which meant that all Grenadians had the opportunity, therefore, to look at it and say, well, I agree, I don't agree. Different groupings could have said, you need to change this or you need to change that, or you need to withdraw the entire thing and rewrite it and different things like that. But it was brought before Parliament. Yeah? I remember, for instance, that the Honorable Peter David, was the one that, if I remember correctly, laid that bill in Parliament during the period of the New National Party. So it went there, it had the first reading of the bill, and so on. But now, you recognize now that they promise, we come in and we will legalize and all kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, you're just hearing nothing again.
Consultations on the decriminalization of cannabis is due on Friday, following the pending responses to be presented to Cabinet, then Parliament for second reading. Minister of Agriculture Peter David says despite the 90-day period for consultation with the public and other stakeholders having elapsed since the Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Amendment Bill had its first reading, the process is not yet over.
Some people have heard the public response. I think one gentleman said in his response the other day, he doesn't want 10 trees, he wants 100 trees. Well, some people say there are different responses to the legislation. I must say, though, that we've not received any very negative responses on it, which points in a particular direction. So I'm going to go back to Cabinet next week, indicate to Cabinet what the results are of this consultation that we've had.
Minister David says invitations to various stakeholders were sent out to engage in consultations or responses on the decriminalization of marijuana.
And we did have a roundtable some time ago with some other stakeholders. So we have a pretty good picture now.
And again, folks, this is during the period of the New National Party. This is not during the period of the NDC now and speaking from opposition. This is the Honorable Peter David speaking as the Minister of Agriculture and the person who laid the bill in Parliament, And then you had these discussions in relation to it.
The way our society is on this. So I think the next step is for Parliament to just have the second reading where we will deal with the matter there, finalize it there, and then it moves to the Senate. And then all of the stakeholders in it, the police, everybody put their mechanisms in place in order to move in the direction that I suspect the consultation is heading up.
He adds that together with the Minister of Health and the Attorney General, the Ministry of Agriculture will compile the data received after the final consultation on Friday.
And I just want to say to the public, we are still open to recommendations from you. Those who did not respond, I'm assuming as I sit here, that is because you have no difficulty. If you do have a difficulty, please, the Ministry of Agriculture is open. Please let us know what your difficulty is, so if we at least we take it into account when we report to Cabinet next week.
So, folks, that is the way that the New National Party was addressing this issue in a consultative way, speaking with people, getting their input in relation to it. There's the report of the Caribbean Commission in relation to with marijuana and so on. There's a Caribbean Commission. I have the report somewhere here, but there's a report in relation to that, as well as it is part of the Plan 2030, Plan 2030, I think it is named here, that as well. But let's hear what the present Prime Minister had to say in relation to this issue.
Go on and on. Right? We haven't talked about creating a marijuana industry or a hemp industry. That we can take on an entire night. It is not because, as the sister who spoke pointed out, the resource of a country is its people. You could have gold, you could have bauxite, and if the people don't know how to extract it, it stays in the ground. So the reality is, we have to invest in agriculture. We have to invest in...
This from a government, just remember that his government woefully underspent the money that was provided for them for agriculture. I feel that's part of the reason they fire persuader from agriculture. Because the amount of money that was given to agriculture, they didn't spend the vast majority of it. They have the Marijuana Commission, and it seems to be a commission in name only. Have you heard of public consultations taking place in the way that you saw under the new National Party, where the approach was that you brought in different stakeholders, whether it's civil society, the trade union movements, the religious bodies, the education sector, the health sector, different bodies came in and had their say. The agriculturists, they came in and they had their say in relation to it. But we losing our opportunity and what are they grinning? We losing our opportunity and all sort of thing. What have they done in relation to it? You heard it in the budget that they read at the end of 2022. You heard it at the budget that they read at the end of 2023. You're going to hear it in the throne speech later this year, and then you go hear it in the budget after it again. Mark my words.
Educating our people about the history of agriculture. And we have to invest in research and development so that we can create products on a large enough scale so that we can sustain industry.
And let me just make this statement as well. When they're speaking about the marijuana industry, let me just let a lot of people know something here. The young fellas who think that this is going to be decriminalized for medicinal purposes, and therefore they are going to be able to go in the backyard and plant 200-300 trees, and that they're going to find a sale for that. Joke all you're making, you know. Joke all you're making, because number one, they're going to license it. So you're going to have to get a license that is going to cost a good bit of money, which is immediately going to price out all the poorer people from being able to get involved in the industry, because you're going to have to get a license to be able to plant. Then after you get that license to plant and so on, you're going to have to go through various other processes. And if you get that license to plant, then you have the problem with counterpart banking, because now no bank in the United States, etc., is going to do any business with you. Federal law prohibits it. If you are involved in the ganja industry, it is a prohibited substance on the federal level. Understand? Remember, it's the United States. They have the different states. So individual states may have their individual law in relation to it. They may have it where it's totally legal. They could grow as much as you want, smoke as much as you want, whatever. And there are other states where it is still illegal, but there's the overarching law in the United States, the federal law that covers all the states. And under the federal law, it is still an illegal substance. And as such, the various banks that do business and so on, they have to have a certain level of clarity with who they're doing business with outside of the United States, because they can find themselves in legal problems if it is found that the money they are receiving is from the ganja trade. So this thing is going to immediately price out all the youth men out there that feel that you're going to be able to plant a big set and then you're going to be able to just take it to market, like how we bring mango and how we bring plantain and thing to market and sell. No, it's not going to be a case like that. You're going to find people through the same CBI. The same CBI, you're going to realize that a lot of people are coming in under the CBI to set up, to buy how much acres and to grow. In the same way, you know, individuals have come in, they bought how much land and they set up and they do cane and they do specific types of cane and so on. You're going to have people that come in and buy tracts of land and do this kind of thing. But they would not have told you that. This individual would not have told you that. It was only under the NNP when the new National Party was having an open discussion in relation to the issue. Because there are many people that are against it. There are many people that look at the psychosocial, how it affects the psychological effect it is having on young people, especially the developing brain of teenagers who are using marijuana, especially heavily, the psychological effects it is having on them. Check the mental home and find out the stories of many of the young people you're seeing there who are teenagers or in the early 20s, and trace it back to drug use. There are people, different thing, you know. What might affect John in one way might not affect Johnny in the same way. Yeah? So there are many young people who are sitting there in the madhouse right now. Find out if substance abuse, in particular marijuana, didn't have something to do with it. So there are various aspects to the discussion, but no. The same man who was posing with weed, they just came to you and they told you, oh, we're going to legalize it. That is what they were running around the place telling all the guys on the blocks. Fellas, you all on the blocks know it's true. That's why they was coming to you all and told you all, come out and vote. We go legalize it. No problem again. No problem again. You realize the CBI that they like? So what they are going to do is they are going to bring in the big companies to plant on massive scale. And even if those big companies are supplying on the local market, they are going to make the individual cost so cheap, like 50 cents, 75 cents, like a cigarette. Whatever the cost of a cigarette is, where it is now, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1, I don't know. But whatever the cost of a cigarette, make it like a cigarette. So understand where they are going with this thing. They see business opportunities for themselves and their friends. Not like how the NNP was saying, well, no, we can't be locking up these young people and them for a spliff. And you have rapists and them that can't get to court because you have X amount of marijuana charged inside there. And people who molest children and rapists, they can't get a hearing in the court. You have to keep putting off the case because you have so much of these little cases there with the marijuana. And so, no. And then it costs the state more. Even if the person can't, you charge them a couple $100, they don't pay. You take them and you put them up in the big house. So it now costs the state tens of thousands of dollars over a period of time to take care of that person for a marijuana joint that, what does it cost? $10, $12, whatever. That makes no sense. So whether it's seaweed or seeing weed, these individuals are the same ones that were saying some things before election that they ain't saying now. That's the same people that were saying one set of thing before election that they are not saying now. So when you hear them talking about, let me see if we could find that one, man. Where you go? Let me see if we could find that one in relation to the Sargassum again. Let me see. Remember when people saying things like, let me see if we could pull this one up, man. Come on, thing, open. Right. Let
regulate that problem. Listen, in the earlies, they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront.
Right, so they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront. Just remember, there's the people are saying that.
In the earlies, they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront. And any ABC environmentalist would have told you that was not sound. So they started to take out. And any ABC environmentalist would have told you that was not sound.
That is the Minister of Education that talking there. Just remember, that's the Minister of Education that talking there. Nice.
In the earlies, they brought some heavy machinery on the beachfront. And any ABC environmentalist would have told you that was not sound.
So I wonder if he's talking to the Member of Parliament for South St. George. I wonder if they have a good relationship and so. I wonder because right now, I don't know if it's ABC environmentalists or who, but somebody needs to tell them what is going on the beach there with the heavy machinery and tripping away all the sand. Yeah, because you're seeing more sand than seaweed there, ain't it? Yeah, because that is the seaweed there, and this look more like sand than seaweed, right? So I don't know if it's the same individuals, you know. Yeah, I never see. This is definitely from Grandans Beach. Look, you could tell. Look, the hotel project in the back there, right? So this is on Grandans Beach, and this is a picture of earlier today or yesterday, yeah. This is a picture of Grandans Beach, right? So who was talking about heavy machinery and it wrong to put heavy machinery on the beach? Maybe somebody within the organization need to have a word with them about that. All right, folks, that is all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. Let me just clear here. Right. Yeah, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you in everything you say and do. Do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. Love each and every one of you unconditionally. Just a note, the meeting that I promoted last night for St. Mark in Bonnet, that meeting has been postponed. I'll give you all the new date as soon as it comes at hand. So the meeting, the new National Party meeting that was scheduled for Thursday in Bonnet, that meeting has been postponed. We'll give you some updated information when it comes to hand. All right, so my name is Sheldon Scott. I am out of here in everything you say and do. Do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. I am out.